let's go ahead and get started. I see some good number of folks in here, so welcome everybody. Again, this is the Academia Monthly session. I think we have a lot of new faces this month, which is really exciting. So before I jump into the actual presentation, we just have a little bit of housekeeping before we begin. First of all, just a quick note about our agenda for today. We will start with the best practices that will be held by me. I'm Rachel Cook. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the Customer Success Manager for Accudemia. So I work very closely with academia users and with support to try to make academia work as smoothly as possible for every center's individual needs. And I'm going to be talking this week about the newer advanced module in academia, and I'll have some ideas about how to utilize that more effectively, including ideas directly from academia users. Next, we are going to talk about what is new at Accudemia. We are doing monthly updates in Accudemia, so that is going to be held by Nick and the rest of the support team, possibly, or just Nick. Everyone. Okay, a couple people. Great. So they're going to talk a little bit about what's new in Accudemia, so you can stay up to date with that. And then we will have a Q&A. Any questions regarding Accudemia, whether or not it's related to the topics we discussed today, our experts will be on hand to help you out with that. And our next item of business is our next monthly keynote webinar. So these are different from the monthly session you're in today. These are monthly professional development sessions. They are free. They are open to anybody, Engineerica client or not, but we always like to make you guys aware of it first so you can reserve your spots. This month's speaker is going to be Ashley Chandler from Stephen F. Austin State University, who is going to be talking about diversity in tutoring modalities. So you can find out more about that and sign up for that in this link here that I am about to paste into the chat. And if you want to attend more sessions like that one and this one in person, we encourage you to consider joining us in Orlando. So this is going to be in February of 2027. We are still working out some of the details for it, including an upcoming call for proposals. So we are really excited. This is going to be our third time hosting this event. It is always a really fun time. It is a combination of general professional development for folks working in higher education learning centers and other similar types of resources. And also we include training for academia clients as well. So you get both sides of it, access to either one at any point during the conference. The last couple events were a really great time. Really great to connect with so many higher ed folks in person. I'm again going to paste a link with more information in the chat, but we are working on getting a good keynote speaker for you all, as well as about to accept proposals. We're about to accept proposals for breakout sessions. So keep an eye on that, and we hope to see you in February. And last bit of housekeeping, we are inviting you to take a survey to help us improve academia. We did send out a survey link recently, and what we found with that was a lot of people wanted to see an improvement to usability. That was a word that came up a lot, but we want to get a little more specific with that. We want to know a little bit more about what specifically with usability you want to see, and that's what this survey is designed to really drill in on. So we want to identify your frustration points. We want to improve existing features. We want to look at some new features and see what would actually be useful for as many folks as possible. Your input is going to directly guide what we build next in Accudemia. We do take it very, very seriously. So if you have a few minutes to take the survey, that will really help us out, and it allows us to build the best system possible for you all. So thank you so much in advance for your input. So again, welcome everyone. So today's best practices discussion is going to be about the events module in Accudemia. And again, for anybody watching this recording later or who doesn't already know me, I'm Rachel Cook. I am the customer success manager working with Accudemia. I have a background in higher ed, working with students, working in learning centers, managing learning centers as well. So I'm very passionate about higher education. I'm very passionate about having Accudemia be a tool that works with your center and really complements the processes that you already have in place. So we want to talk about the events module today. It's a newer module in Accudemia. Um, Before we had this, there were workarounds that we had to recommend for anybody who wanted to track events, and eventually it got to the point where we had enough people wanting to track events and workshops in Accudemia that it became more feasible to create a module for events, and we have been continuously making improvements to it. But the main thing we wanted was for it to be easier to track pre-registration and attendance for these one-time or recurring events that were a little different from appointments, which tend to be one-on-one with one person, um, and not having to use the classroom attendance, which some folks were doing, because that really is meant for more SI or classroom sorts of functions, not really for like an MLA workshop or like a career services type of like resume workshop or something like that, where you really want to get an idea in advance of who's going to come, and how long people are staying for, uh, all these things that were a little harder with the other tools in Accudemia. So you might already be thinking about what are the different ways that I can use this feature. So I kind of thought of a few different ways that we brainstormed. I brainstormed a few different ways that the module might be utilized. But I also reached out to some folks in Accudemia who were using the events module to learn more about how they are utilizing it. And you're gonna hear from one of them live today, and then I have a couple folks who couldn't be here today and were kind enough to send me some more information that I can share with you all. Of course, the first use case, workshop tracking, this is probably the most common way that the module is utilized. So it's ideal for smaller scale events that may or may not require pre-registration, but definitely require tracking. It doesn't matter, you can have people pre-register or not, but you want to know who's actually there on the day of. We're seeing these used most often in like academic type environments. Like I said, we're seeing like MLA type workshops, workshops that focus on like an academic type subject, but it can also apply to other types of areas around campus that are using workshops such as career services, wellness, so mental health types of workshops, things like that. Larger scale events such as career fairs could be another really good way to use events in Accudemia. It's made a lot easier to utilize because the app allows you to quickly scan folks in, so you don't get a bottleneck at the sign-in station the way that you might if it were something you were tracking like at a kiosk. This helps you measure engagement and participation. I would highly recommend so, leveraging modules such as the email campaigns and surveys alongside it, because once you have a list of who's coming, you can send them email campaigns to follow up. You can encourage people to attend in advance. You can also send them surveys to see, what did they think of the event, and what can you do in the future to make it more engaging if possible. Club meetings is another great usage of the events. So the point is that the module is very versatile. So these are things that are not necessarily one-time events. They are going to be happening weekly or monthly or something like that. But this can still help you track who's coming to those meetings in a way that general sign-in station tracking or classroom attendance tracking isn't a really good fit for. It can also help you get an idea of new members, visitors, promote upcoming events, really able to really helping you drill down into what's going on with those clubs. And then larger campus events that maybe are taking place in several locations at once. So like an orientation or a large lecture or even a tour of the campus. It helps you get an accurate head count of attendees and promote that attendance in advance, especially if they pre-register for the event. And finally, training. Training was another potentially great use of the events module. So if you have those trainings, and again, tracking them is important, but classroom attendance, regular center tracking are not going to be as appropriate, especially if we're not tracking students, we're tracking staff members or maybe student employees. Could be for general onboarding training or compliance training or ongoing sorts of seminars that you want to make sure you're tracking people at. So these are just some of the ideas for usage. But like I said, I did also reach out to some different academia users about their experience with using the events module. And just bear with me one moment while I pull up their responses. So the first person I spoke with was Dr. Nisi Matthews Bradshaw from the University of Colorado, Denver. And I'll just read what she said, and I have a little image she wanted me to share as well. Let me. So she explains, we use the events module to create a sign up process for our study skills workshops. So that really helps them see like what are who actually is going to attend, and helps them decide like whether or not they need to fill the event a little harder, fill the event more, and see really like know what to expect when the event actually takes place. So our next speaker, our next person who contributed to this is Jennifer Malinowski from Michigan State. So she says, we use it for our question review session so we can get an estimate of how many students pre-registered. We then track attendance via Zoom and cross-reference with the academia data. That allows them to track those virtual sessions that way. And then finally, I have Marie Bernard from Southeastern Louisiana University. And Marie, just give me 1 second here while I make you the presenter if you want to talk a little bit about your experience.
Yes, thanks. Hi, everybody. So we are a regional university. We're located about 45 minutes north of New Orleans. We have about 15,000 students, and so we use Accudemia a lot. I go down, you can see right here where it says upcoming events. Let me show you real quick. It's really cool. It's very easy to set up every semester that I do it. So I'm going to go and include all my workshops are finished for the semester. So I'm going to go include my past events so that you can see it, and I'll show you the ones that I had for this semester. So you can see all the different workshops that we did. They're very easy for me to basically copy paste from semester to semester to create the events in there. And so our first one is like how to take notes in college, and you can click on it and it gives a nice description of what to do. I can look to see what students had registered to attend it, and then I download this, and this is how I track the students who have attended our workshops. We've used these workshops not only for our different types of study workshops like Colorado did, but we also do them where I've had some of my professors. So for example, if they're taking up a chemistry class and they're not very good at making chemistry lab reports, we've had visiting professors come in and do how to ace your lab reports. And so students can sign up for different sessions throughout the semester. I've had someone come in and do interpersonal communication skills. So it's really quick and easy. It's a great tool that we can show to across the university. We also have a class, it's called SE 1010. We have a 1020 and a 1030. Our 1030 classes is for students who have, they're on academic probation. And so we work a lot with those students to save those students. A lot of times we're giving them a lot more structure to help them to bring them back to good academic standing. These workshops are an integral part of that program. So their SE 1030 classes will come. It's also open to the general population. Whoever wants to attend, they can come as well. Does you have any particular questions about these or anything that I can show you? And I love Accudemia. Y'all are so great. I remember when we first started with these, I'm like, listen, I don't like the way the register button was. And I emailed you guys and y'all y'all fix it. That's what I love about Engineerica. Y'all are always so attentive to our needs, and I really appreciate that. So, like, if students wanted to go and to sign up, so this is our Beyond flashcards. Well, it's not active now, but it has a button where they can just sign up. Super super easy for students to use.
Have you found that this has helped increase participation in those workshops?
You can see the numbers. So, and I have to know the number because the classroom that we're using, it only seats 20, so I do have to know, and I have to move them sometimes if I have to expect a larger crowd. So, yeah, I think so. It's helped. Now here they didn't show up, but I always find sometimes now that's a Tuesday, but Thursday sessions don't
Hmm.
normally get booked. But that's just that's how things work, I guess, at the college level.
Yeah, that can give you kind of an idea of like when to schedule things for the future as well.
So, thank you. That's all I have. Anything else you need me to show you?
No, I think that's it. Nick, did you have any questions for her? So what were you using prior to this to track who was attending the events? That would be a question I would have.
Google. We were using Google Docs to send it out and track, and
Mhm.
it was very much a nightmare. And so when this came about, it just made things so much easier. We love this, and we also love y'all's media. We check out a lot of media. We have a lot of students who take. We're a big nursing school, so a lot of A and P's, and so we use y'all's media checkout to check out all of our calculators and all the different anatomical models that the students will come in and use that. Um,
Fantastic.
my writing center, so they're not associated with me, but they also use Accudemia. So they have where they use events like this. They have the English classes at the beginning of the semester come in and take time and go visit the writing center. And so they use events to schedule all of the English classes to go and visit the writing center to learn where it is and what kind of things that the writing center offers to the students who are taking English classes.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Marie. That was really nice.
Thank you.
We really appreciate your time.